right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 14.
14.
You heard that right. Episode 14 of your favorite podcast. I mean, I don't know, with your two favorite brown girls, myself, Jackie.
And Sana.
So yes, episode 14.
We don't speak of 13.
We don't speak of episode 13.
You know, I was never superstitious. Literally,
Same.
I've always been the anti-superstitious. I'm like
Same.
an elevator, press 13. Let's go to the 13th.
Go.
I've never been superstitious, but when I tell you episode 13 started off bad for us.
Yeah. We are actually recording on a different day than we normally do because episode 13 just ruined everything.
We thought we can't go back to that. Let's just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
We can't take more risks with 13.
Yes.
It started off with a studio blackout, and
Yes.
then just other events unfolded that were unfortunate.
Yes. It was also just a rough week in general.
It was a
Typically,
rough week.
we do our fun little weekend recap because we know you, the listeners, are just so engrossed in our lives.
And we also meet right after the weekend.
Yes, and we do. So that's why we do it. But since we're meeting on a different day, we're actually meeting on a Friday. It was kind of a rough week. So episode 13 was part of that. Sana and I, we work for the same company as we mentioned before. And our company, unfortunately, was going through a layoff, as a lot of companies are right now. I think Amazon's laying off like 10,000 people or something.
Yeah, our company laid off 13%. It
Yes. So a little over 800 people. So it was rough.
was like 900.
Yeah, it was a rough week. Thankfully, Sana and I were not impacted. So we both have jobs.
How do they let these faces go?
I know. We're the favorites.
Yeah, were you walk into the office in there?
Also, nobody understands that this is a package deal.
Yeah. We don't even work near the same position, but
No,
you know.
but it's sacky.
Nobody even knows we know each other.
That's very true. People really don't know we're friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a long week.
Yeah.
Long ass week.
It was a rough week with that.
Yes.
As you know, I had a loss in my family
Yes.
this week.
Yes.
My lovely, lovely grandma in Pakistan passed away. So
Oh.
that's been really hard on top of everything. And yeah, everything surrounded this week was no bueno.
Yeah, it wasn't, we didn't have the best of times this week.
We didn't.
It was supposed to be last week, but it was supposed to be like an easy peasy week, and it was stressy, depressing.
No, it was last week and this week.
Yeah.
It was both these weeks.
Yeah. So, yeah. But moving forward, we press on. Hence why we're just moving on to episode 14, which today we are talking about single during the holidays.
What better time? Thanksgiving is
Yes.
going to be the day before we release this episode.
Yes.
So Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
to
everyone.
all our viewers.
Yes, all our
I hope you all are grateful and thankful for what we
For
have.
us.
For us. If it's for us, especially for us. But I think if this week has taught me anything, I think when you go through a loss and things happen, it always puts into perspective that like you need to be grateful for what you have. And I feel like you're always chasing the hustle and all this stuff. And it's like you literally take nothing when you leave.
Very true.
You have nothing.
Yep.
And then it also brings you like you want to leave like in an impactful way where
Right.
like people have nothing but great things to say about you.
Yeah. They
Make a
talk about-
difference
Yeah,
in people's
sure.
lives.
Make a difference, be impactful in your relationships. And, just I would love when it is my time for people to think about my life and think about the experiences that I had. And they get to say, she had like a really good life. She did a lot. She, went and did what she wanted to do and traveled and then this and that. Because yes, the material things, can't take it with you.
Can't take it with you, and be kind to each other.
Yes.
Be a
Always
nice person.
Be a nice person. Be
Do
kind.
the right thing.
Don't be an asshole, right?
Yeah.
If you have a choice, choose to be kind.
Choose to be kind and do the right thing. And help others.
Help others. But no, yes. So we're heading into the holidays. So yes, Thanksgiving, being grateful. I know everyone's grateful for your favorite podcast. You're welcome. But no, so we thought,
let's kick it off this way because I know a lot of people struggle being single during this time.
Yes.
And
it's not easy. I think it's not easy just because I know for myself, because we have two different perspectives on it.
Yeah.
Because you're just entering in your 30s, and I'm in my later 30s, and so a lot of my friends are, coupled up. They have kids. So I really don't have kind of that single group around me anymore. So I feel like I feel it a little bit deeper and a little bit in a different way
I
than
would
you
ag-
might.
I would agree. I mean, this is the first year out of after 3.5 years that I'm celebrating the holidays single.
Yes.
And like what you said, most I have a few married friends,
Right.
but a lot of my friends are in relationships, but they're just not married.
Right.
And I only have one friend who's married who just had a baby this year and they live up
Mm,
north. So I don't really have nobody
yeah.
has like a family yet, or at least nobody down here that I like see continually.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's a little bit different of a phase than you are. You're more, I would say, impacted.
Yes.
I feel like it's another day.
Yeah. Just another day, another month, nothing different.
Another month single.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Do you, well, I mean, because it's after 3.5 years, like, but when you were single, like during like a holiday season, do you ever like really feel your singleness?
I think I probably felt it even less before because, okay, I'm 30. I met him when I was what, 26, 27?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody was young then, right? So,
Yeah.
like, at that point, I really barely had married friends, maybe like one or
Yeah.
two.
It's like the norm,
And
everyone's single.
everyone, yeah, I think a lot of people were half in relationships, half not. And so I never really felt I've never been that person that during the holidays I feel it more.
Hmm.
Like like obviously when there were times where I'm just like sad about being single the whole year.
Yeah.
But I I don't think there was like a time where it's like especially during the holidays
Right.
because typically like the friends always spend New Year's together. We've spent New Year's together.
Yeah.
And then my family does a Thanksgiving trip. And then my family, we hang out a lot during the holidays. So I never feel like
Alone.
alone.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
never, and I think a big part of the difference between you and I is I'm not really surrounded by people with families.
Right.
So I don't feel like, oh, everybody's doing their own thing with their family because
Yeah.
I'm not at that phase yet. So,
Yeah.
but I could
That makes
understand from
sense.
your perspective how if I was in my mid 30s and I was seeing that, then yeah, it would be difficult because it's even harder to get people together when there are kids involved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like definitely for me, a lot of it is because everyone has their families now, and it's like multiple kids.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's they're not free, right? So I'm kind of obviously living a different type of lifestyle. I don't have kids, I don't have a partner, I don't even have like an animal that I have to take care of. So I'm kind of free as a bird. So I can drop of a hat, be sure, like, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? It's also the things that I go and do, right?
Hmm.
I can go and hang out at a bar or like a lounge, restaurant, whatever, or do something that's very more so geared towards, grown up adult things versus, no, we have to go see Santa at the mall.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're doing.
Or I have to be home at a certain
Yeah, I
time
gotta be
because I put
home
my
because,
my
like,
kids
yeah,
to bed
kids
and
gotta go to bed by eight
yeah.
o'clock, and well, I can't go to a bar because I have to have the kids with me. That whole thing. So, and then just people not being available, and then the type of activities that you do. So definitely, and that's more my norm now.
Mhm.
It's been my norm for a while. I feel like I had friends get married like late 20s. So that's kind of been my norm, that's kind of been the standard. So I don't know if I necessarily feel my singleness during the holidays either. I think because I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that in like a self-deprecating way. It's just I'm
It's
used
another
to it.
day.
Yeah, it's kind of another
Yeah.
day, but I do understand that well, I'll be honest. I not just understand, but I will say that there are kind of moments. There are moments within the holidays where you're kind of like,
I
this sucks.
no, I would get that. I think what would if I was in your shoes, I think having I go on social media and it's just like all these cute
Yes.
family photos and all of
That's the toughest.
that
That's
would
the
that would bother
toughest.
me because even like I wouldn't say it bothers me, but like even on Halloween, like I'm someone who like loves to go all out for Halloween. Like
Yeah.
one of the like I cannot wait to have kids because I know like the costumes are gonna be insane.
Yeah, or doing like a whole family
A whole
costume.
family. That's gonna be like a whole family
Yeah.
costume. So like when I see that, sometimes like, oh, like I
Kind of a
want to
bummer.
do that.
Yeah.
But again, I can't. I don't think my feed is anywhere similar to your feed. Like, yeah, I have it on my feed, but
Right.
like it's like every few 10, 20 people,
Yeah,
like, or even
mine's
more, every
literally
100
every
people.
post.
Yeah, yours would be
It's like a meme, then a family picture, a meme and a family picture, a recipe and a family picture. No, but it is. That's how my feed is set up. It's always showing the full or just the little things, right? Like, oh, like we're taking the kids sledding or,
Yeah.
oh, like we went and we did, I don't know, some other little like holiday Christmas activity.
No,
So
totally.
yeah, my feed is
'cause
definitely full of that.
even our Nordstrom friends,
Oh yeah.
you and I plus one other gal,
Right.
Carly.
Yeah.
Everybody else has kids.
Yeah, everyone else has kids, married, and I love seeing their kids, and I love seeing their families grow, and
Yeah.
it's fun to talk to them and ask them like what traditions they're, to watch them, kind of make their own and
Yeah.
and I love all of my friends,
Of course.
kids, but it's rough. I wouldn't say that like I'm like sad, but there's sometimes where you're just like I envy that. And I'm
That's
kind of
normal.
bummed,
That's normal to feel that
and
way.
yeah, and you kind of just get like bummed out at moments. And especially again from being an older, like being in, kind of like entering in my late 30s, which I feel is kind of a demographic that gets a little bit skipped over. And people don't really kind of consider us and really think about us anymore is
Yeah.
that it's a little bit harder because we are at that point where we thought we would have this. This is something that we still want to have. And we are also now facing the possibility that it might not happen just from like a physical standpoint. A woman's fertility does start to decrease. Not that it can't happen. And I'm not thinking like, complete doomsday, like I'm barren. That's not my thought process. But you're just like, well, I'm 36. For me personally, I'm 36, gonna be 37 in April, which sounds far off, but it really isn't. And, I'm only 3 years away then from being 40. And the likelihood, like, and there's nobody on the horizon.
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
Like, it literally,
You never
I
know.
see when people, sometimes I say there's no one on the horizon, but I'm like, you could meet someone tomorrow and then within 6, 7 months, like, I think at this age, especially at your age, you know what you want.
Exactly.
So, like, I think when you know what you want and you have a good head on your shoulders, things progress so quickly. It's not like when you're 20 and you get engaged after 6 months, you're like, ooh, what are you doing?
Right. I think when you're older, people are just kind of like, if you have a longer engagement,
Yeah.
people are like, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? Because you both are on the same page.
Right.
There's no games. You have the same
Either
goal.
we're doing this or we're not.
We're doing this or we're not. So I think at this point in your life, like you were to meet someone, it would progress really quickly.
Yeah, it could. However, I am one that likes to deal in reality.
Okay,
I like to deal with facts.
Yeah, the
that's
facts
in front of me.
The fact of the matter is I'm single.
The fact of the matter is I'm single, and there is not. No, but it's true. It's that like there isn't anyone right now, and just timeline, right? Like I like to deal with realities, and the timeline is looking that like I now, and again, many women who are in their late 30s, like you kind of have to think about like this may not happen. So if you have friends that are in their later 30s or they're entering at be kind, think about them.
Let them borrow one of your kids.
Let them borrow one of your kids so that they know what they're not missing. That they have it so good. No, but I think people just kind of need to be cognizant of it because I really don't care for the advice that comes through. I know people are trying to be supportive. But I think we need to start finding a different way to be supportive towards single people and especially towards older single women.
I mean, talking about that, I think the phrase that irks me the most, and I think you'd agree, is don't look for it.
Oh, God.
Let it find you.
Oh, God.
I can't stand that one.
I hate that one. There's a lot of them that I hate, but I really hate that one.
That's because that's a common one. It's like, oh, just don't look for it. When you're least expected, it'll happen.
And it's like, what do you know? I hate that.
It's also like when you've been single for so long, like how do you not expect it?
Exactly.
Like that sounds like opposing where you should be like, well, how do you expect it? Because you've been single for so long. But it's like constantly on your mind. Like how do you like you think baby to think of all these things. Like how do you not expect it?
And the thing is, what I really hate about it is that it's typically coming from someone who has been in a relationship longer than they had been single.
Yeah.
So, maybe they're married for 10, but they've been together for 13 years. And, and let's talk about like adult life being single, right? We're not going to talk about the ages of between 0 and 18. So from 18
Yeah.
to whatever, they, weren't single, and then now they've been in a relationship. So that's what really bothers me, because and this is a whole different type of dating scene. This is not your mother's dating scene. This isn't even your older sister's dating scene.
Hell, I don't even think this was when we were in college dating
Yes,
scene.
this is complete
Different
situation. And if you're not in it, again, I know you're trying to be supportive and people are trying to be supportive, but when you're not in it, you have zero idea what we're dealing with and what we're going through. And that's kind of why I hate that statement of like, oh, like when you least expect it, or don't look for it. It's like, again, this is something that's important to me and that I want and that I thought I'd have it by now. And it also impacts kind of every area of my life, like financially, right? And
like,
then
I need that tax break.
yeah, I need that second income, man. I live in Southern California, so
Yeah.
that second income helps. So it impacts financially, it impacts physically, just with having a partner, sharing physical space, your growth with your family, right? Having children. I know for me, I want to have children with a partner. Not that you have to nowadays, but that's what I want personally. So it does impact that for me. And then just again, the relationship as a whole and building a family and a future with somebody. So, to tell me from my perspective, oh, like, don't think
Yeah.
about it. Like, bitch, this has been on my mind for the last 10 years. So thanks, but no.
But it's also hard for it to not be on your mind when it's all you see.
Exactly. It's all I'm around. I'm 36. That's my world now.
Whether it's social media, whether it's hanging out with your friends, whether
Absolutely.
I mean, even me going to the office. I went to the office twice this week, and because our markets combined.
Right.
There's a lot of people I've met for the first time, and like I had multiple people be like, "Oh, do you have?" They're all their moms talking about their kids, and
Right.
or do you have kids? And it's like even in normal conversation when you're hanging out with people, like they talk about their kids, they talk about their family, which is normal.
Yes,
but
because again, you're kind of in that age group now. Hell, I was in San Francisco earlier this week for work, and the Uber driver asked me if I had kids. Not the Uber driver. And he did. He was like, you have kids? And I was like, nope, not yet. He's like, oh, soon? And I was like, probably not. And he was like, why? Is the dad-to-be not on it? And I was like, there is nobody.
He just went in as many questions. He just kept going down the rabbit hole.
Like 20 questions with the Uber guy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, like, Ahmad, you were like really going for it. Like, and yeah, I mean, that makes sense because again, I'm at that age. That's kind of the typical, that's the traditional. And not that has to be my life, but what, again, I think people don't realize is there are some people that truly do really want this, and they want the quote unquote traditional life. And that's something that I do want. So it is always on my mind. It is always there. And again, because it's already in front of me, social media, but it's always in the back of my mind of like, well, how come it hasn't happened and what needs to change? I mean, so it's a great sentiment. I know what people are trying to do, but if you're listening and you have single friends, if I'm one of them, please stop saying that to me because it's not helpful. It really is not. But I take issue with a lot of advice out there.
I think you nailed it. It's the advice that's coming from people that have not been in this current dating scene.
Yes.
Like if they met their significant other like a few years, like 1 or 2 years ago, like they know what we're talking about.
Right.
Even 5 years ago, they know what we're talking about. But
I would actually maybe even challenge that 5 years ago. I don't know if it was really.
It was.
I think it was similar.
I mean,
it's just gotten progressively worse. But at least they're in the neighborhood.
They were in. Yeah. I come on. I was still struggling at 25.
Oh, true. Yeah. All right.
So, but the ones at like college or like right outside of college or how high school sweethearts, no, they don't.
No, don't. And it's really funny. I was in DC last week and I was with a friend of mine and she has, I forget if it was a coworker or somebody. And she asked me, we were driving and she goes, do you know what Hinge is?
Oh, no. The way she's like,
she's
like, is that like a shopping app? Yeah. Do they have cute clothes there?
She was like, do you know?
Do they sell hardware?
Is it for doors? No, she knew it was a dating app. But she
Yeah.
was like, "Do you know the app Hinge?" And I was like, Raisa, there is not one dating app that I don't know about. Like
Yeah.
anything that's out there, I've probably tried it, except for Tinder. I still have not tried Tinder. I don't care to. I probably never will. But
okay.
I know we have.
I just learned another successful Tinder story yesterday.
I don't know. Maybe this is the place. I don't even know.
I've also never been on Tinder.
Yeah.
But now I know 2 people with great guys from Tinder.
Yeah. Everyone weigh in. If you'd love to see us join Tinder, let us know.
A group account, a joint account. We're like looking for 2 men.
We can be like, you don't know which one you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like just show up. It's
How
like a roulette date.
Okay. That could be.
Wait, we might do this.
That
everyone.
could be really funny. If it's like we.
Yeah, we're like, you don't know who you're gonna get.
You don't know, and we would just decide who gets to go.
And if we both are talking on the conversation, like you don't know who you're talking to.
That could
This could be a fun
little thing for.
Stand by, everyone, because we might do this because we're just that bored. But anyway, getting back to the story, she said, "Do you know Hinges?" And I said, "I absolutely do. What about it?" So she started talking about her coworker and somebody on the app. But so we started getting onto the topic, though, of dating and the current dating scene. And they were just like, and I said something about the apps, and her and her husband both were like, so like, why is it like so hard? And I was like, let me tell you why it isn't hard. Like,
it's easier for me to do that.
It's easier for me to list like why, it isn't versus why it is. And I was trying to explain to them just how the dating scene and culture and landscape has changed. And they both were just like, oh, thank God I'm not out there. I'm like, listen, you know what? Like the flip side is you taking care of 3 boys. I would rather be taking care of 3 boys than out here trying to date a boy. Taking care of 3 boys. But on the dating scene.
Yeah.
Pick your heart. But it was really funny trying to explain to them just how bad it is and why it's bad and why it's bad for the serious people, men and women alike, because there are serious men out there, just like there are serious women.
Men, but it is much easier for a man to get into a relationship if he's ready to be in a relationship versus a woman that's ready to be in a relationship. It's like a guy can find a girl like this.
Very true.
Women, we're almost like waiting on you to get your shit together.
Yeah. No, totally. And we'll have to explore that because we found a very interesting article that we're actually probably going to talk about in a couple episodes. I think that
ties into that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll revisit that. But it was just trying to explain, and thankfully they didn't offer any advice. Because they're actually very sympathetic, which again, I would encourage anyone, when you have single friends, especially again, older single friends, just be sympathetic. Just, hey, I'm so sorry. That sounds awful. I'm very thankful that my friend Brisa loves to include me with her family and basically the sister wife.
Yeah.
And we always joke that she should have married me instead. JK Jeff. But yeah, just let's scrap the advice. I really, really hate that. Because I don't know. I've never really seen any good advice for single people of just the basics of, oh, don't think about it, or it'll happen when you least expect it. And what are the other ones? My favorite, it's better to be single than it is to be in a shitty relationship.
That one doesn't bother me.
See, it bothers me.
We'll get into that one.
Yeah. Because we need to talk about this video.
Okay, we're gonna air a video that I sent Jackie today. It was actually posted last year, but I came across it and it irks her and not me. And we're gonna
we're gonna play it.
Okay, we're gonna play it.
We're gonna debate this.
Why does everybody get so emotional about being single on the holidays? I don't get it. Everything's like, I don't have my partner. Life sucks right now. How? Being single on the holidays is amazing. You don't have to buy gifts for anyone. I'm walking around in my PJs. I got my morning wood. I'm just chilling. I'm doing me.
That was it.
And that's all I've always been doing, right? And that's amazing. It's fucking amazing. It's fun. Here's the thing. I would rather be single on the motherfucking holidays than be with someone that disrespects me. I would rather be single on the holidays than be with someone that isn't the perfect match for me.
Obviously.
I'd rather be single on the holidays than be with someone that doesn't give a fuck about me. And that's the thing, is if you're single on the holidays, guess what? You have the self-respect and the self-worth enough to know that your life on your own is fucking amazing. You've got a great perspective. You're self-aware enough to know that life is fucking good, it's beautiful, and it's amazing. Sick! Even when you don't have that romantic partner in your life, you don't need that to be happy on the holidays. Why does everybody get...
See, so my whole take on that video is like, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Well, no, I don't agree. Because I know you're saying like, well, I wouldn't just settle for somebody, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like a lot of people stay in relationships just for the sake of being in a relationship.
No, I get that. And I kind of like...
I think he's kind of, to me, when I listen to it, I think he's thinking of it as not like, oh, like, you're way better than being single than everybody in a relationship. He's saying that you're better being single than being in a relationship that doesn't serve you. In a relationship that just because you want that comfort, just because you want someone to be with you on the holidays. Like, there's more to it than just having someone for the sake of having someone. Right. That's not adding any value to you.
See, and I understand that, but to me, it's like, obviously.
No,
like,
it's not that obvious because sometimes people need to hear that.
Yeah, but those are the people that shouldn't be in relationships to begin
even
with.
Single people that are like, man, it's like.
But that's what I'm saying is for me. So that's where I get really annoyed because the opposite of being single is not being in a shitty relationship.
I don't think he's saying that.
But see, and that's how I'm receiving it, because it's always like, well, it's better than to be disrespected. Yes, of course it's better to be single than being disrespected. But and I know, I mean, I understand your perspective of what he's trying to say of like, look, it's not about settling, right? Like it's better to be single than settling.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that I think a lot of women, right? Like you can still be bummed out about it. Like
I don't think he's saying that like you can't be bummed out about it. I think he's just saying, look at the positives of it. Look at, because...
See, but I find that so dismissive. I find it so dismissive of that, again, take myself, for example. I've said this before, I've been single my entire adult life. Have dated, but I've never had a serious relationship. Mm-hmm. And so that's my norm. Am I happy with my life? Like, yes, I'm happy with the life that I've curated. I am not sitting there every single night, and then now, especially in the holidays, I'm just like, I wish I had.
But some people are like that.
Yeah, some
people like the holidays, like they're single the whole year, and then when the holidays come, it's like you said, December depression.
Yeah,
no man November. It's like becomes their personality for the 2 months where it's like, I'm so sad about this, and I think he's like lifting it up, or it's like, dude, the other side of what you have is not that exciting. And if it was exciting, if you did find that perfect match, then you wouldn't be single right now.
See, but that's what I'm saying is that it's not, I think that's how people think though, is that the opposite of being single is being, it's better to be, than in a shitty relationship. Of course it is. It's like telling, and that to me is dismissing.
No. It's so easy for you to say that. There are so many people that stay with people for the sake of staying with people and would, like you say, it's so obvious, but no, people stay in relationships where they're disrespected. People stay in relationships where they're not happy.
Yeah, they
just
definitely...
for the sake of having like someone there, or just you don't want to be single. You don't have the strength to be alone. Right. You don't. You would rather settle than be happy within yourself. So I agree with what he's saying. I do think and I think this even comes into the current dating scene because it's like really like what is out there.
No, totally. Like what is out there is like, it's trash. It's a dumpster fire, everyone.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that like, for me, if I said that, if I was just like, but it does suck. Like it does suck sometimes. And there are times where I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of bummed out, or depressive thoughts do sink in. And then for someone to turn around and be like, yeah, well, it's better than that than being in a shitty relationship or like being disrespected. And it's like, obviously, I don't envy a shitty relationship.
I don't think he's saying that though.
And see, that's how I see it. And that's why I really hate when he's like, what do you have to be sad about? And it's like, because I can still love my life and still not be happy with my current love life or my current dating situation. And I'm frustrated with everything. I'm frustrated with the dating scene. I'm frustrated with these men, really boys. I think all serious people, men and women alike, are just frustrated that the bulk of everyone are people who are not serious. But that's what I'm saying is that he's just like, what do you guts to be sad for? And it's like, stop dismissing it. Like, stop dismissing somebody's.
I think you're putting a lot of thought into it. I think he's just trying to make a light, like, hey, you're sad for the holidays. Like, why be sad? Look at the list of the other side. Does it look that pretty? And you're thinking of it as very literally, like, why does the other side only equal bad?
But that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
He's saying that you're not selling if it's not the one that's meant to be for you.
Right, which I agree
you
with.
You would rather be single.
I agree
right?
with the part where he was like, look, like you've recognized that you're not going to settle, and you recognize that you have more worth, and that you recognize that you want to be with the right person. Absolutely.
I don't
but
think
you can still be bummed. You can still be sad.
No,
you can still be lonely.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. But
because that's what I'm saying is that, and this is, and the reason I think I'm so passionate about it is because people really do give this. I've heard this quote unquote advice of, I'll talk to a friend or somebody and they'll say like, well, but it's better than being in a really shitty relationship. It's like, again, obviously, thank you so much for that perspective.
No, but it's not that obvious because Lord knows. We know a lot of people. I've wanted a relation with guys that I'm like, ew, that would have been a shitty ass relationship. Same. It's not as Captain Obvious as you say.
See, I think it is, but I also feel like the other portion of it that gets me annoyed is that it's just very dismissive of someone's emotions, and you can have mixed emotions.
Yeah,
you can. It's like I love my body, but I don't like parts of my body. Right. And that's when I hate when people kind of do that too, when they kind of go that direction of like, you need to love yourself. It's like, thank you. I do. I can also just not like things. Yeah. Same thing with a relationship with your life. And he says, I wrote down my notes. He says like, you don't need a partner to be happy on the holidays. And it's like, I'm not saying I need a partner to be happy on the holidays. If you're saying that, and if you're someone who is thinking that I need a partner to be happy or to complete me, the relationship you need to be in is with a therapist. Like, and I mean that in all seriousness. You need to be going through and no codependency. We don't want codependent relationships. We want interdependent relationships. So I'm talking about the folks and the women that understand that. They're not looking for a partner to make them happy, but they are wanting to have those fun moments that happen with a partner during the holidays. So I feel like it's just very dismissive, and it's just very like, you'll get over it. Because again, I know I've heard that. I've heard, it'll happen when you least expect it. Don't worry, it'll come. You know what? Don't look for it. You know what? It's better than being in a shitty like all of that is not helpful. To me, that's just incredibly dismissive. Like that's not the thing to say to somebody.
Yeah, but I think people don't know what to say.
But that's the thing is learning to be comfortable with being in an uncomfortable moment.
All right. What would you like people to say to you?
If I could tell people what to say, I would tell them to say just, they would just be very genuine and say, you know what, like, I don't really know what that's like. And I don't know really what your situation is and what you're going through, but I'm sorry that you're going through it. Because that definitely doesn't sound like a great situation. And I'm sorry that, it's kind of shitty. Yeah. I'm sorry that it's a shitty thing that you're going through. But I'm here for you, and I'd love, for us to make some plans. Do you want to hang out? Like, you might have to maybe hang out with me and the kids, but yeah. I'd love to make sure that like I'm there, and spending time with you. Because I can understand how that might feel. That's it. That's all you have to. This is a thing. I think this probably touches on a completely different subject of you don't always have to give advice. Some people don't need advice.
Just acknowledge.
Like for me, as a single person, as someone who's been, again, single, entire adult life, I don't need advice. I really don't. I've done all the digging that I can.
The research.
The whys, the whens, how, where. Yeah. I've done all of it. Even being in therapy right now, like, digging into that, and digging into myself and going through a healing journey. Like I know all of this. I'm 36, do not, and that's right. You're right. There, some people don't know. right? Some people have not maybe done the work or done other things that they should, but
I mean, there's so many people that are just not okay with being alone, so they just cling
Mhm.
to whatever they can find.
yeah, they would settle. They would, rather take something's better than nothing type of thing. And I know I've had those thoughts in my head. You get to those thoughts. And I think that's why so I can understand your point, of he's maybe speaking to those people who are in those waters right now of like, well, something's better than nothing. Like, not really, not necessarily. Not when you're sacrificing yourself for it.
See,
So
that's how I perceive the video.
I mean, I can understand that. I still just see it as like, I see it as just making too light of the situation and just being a little bit too dismissive.
It's so funny because I sent this video to Jackie. Like, I sent it her in a way of being like, oh, I like what he says. I get a text, I can't stand this video. And it's just like, it was like a whole bullet, like, point things. And I was like, oh, like, I sent it to you because I thought you'd like it. Like,
I was like, oh, wait. And I was like, absolute trash.
I literally, the reaction was not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
I thought she was going to be like, yeah, he's right. Like, we're in a way better situation. She was like,
no. Because again, that's my whole point. I mean, look at you, right? Like let's take your life for example.
Okay.
Like you just turned 30. You look great. You've said you're in the best.
Sweet.
Thank you so much. You're in the best physical shape of your life.
I was.
Then she went to Italy.
Yeah,
and
I
now
was.
she's not.
Yeah.
You are. Stop it. And you're doing great with your work. And you're just really kind of living your best life, right? Like your best friend is back in town. You both are single and in the same town, for the kind of the first time in your adult lives. And you've been traveling, like you've been having all these experiences. So you have curated, a good life after a breakup and you're thriving. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure there are times where you do look at things and think like, it would be nice.
No, 100%. There are times it would be nice, but I'm gonna be honest. Like the times where I think it'd be nice gears to like having a family. Like if women didn't have
valid.
like a biological time clock,
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, dude,
yeah, I'd be like, I
10
don't
years
care.
from now, like it doesn't. We'll have the kid then.
Oh, totally.
But I think the only like that is the one aspect that I'm kind of like craving. Right.
Yes.
Of course, I want
Absolutely.
the partner, but what's really making me want the partner is the family, having the family, having the
Yes.
kids, and all of that. So
Yes.
when I see that, sometimes, of course, I'm like, oh, that would be nice. And like when I see people that are married, and they're like, we're waiting, and I'm like, dude, I wouldn't wait.
Yeah.
I'm
For
like,
what?
For what? Like I find it so interesting because I'm like, I get it, you want to live, you want to travel,
Yeah,
but
to get
I'm like,
older so you can't
dude,
handle
I'm trying to
them.
have a car full of kids. Like I want 3, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, why don't 3? I was like, because it fits in one car. I need to maximize the space. But I'm like, it's clicking. I mean,
See, and I think you bring up a really good point and I think maybe this is why I take such issue with it is because men have a completely different
they
situation.
have the viewpoint I just said.
Yes, and I think from the video, right? He's like, whatever, I'm hanging out in my sweats, I'm living my life, I don't have to spend money on anybody. And it's like, yeah, from a man's perspective, that's probably like, yeah, you're doing great, bro. But from a woman's perspective, that's not it. So I think you bring up a really good point of because we have a timer, we have a biological clock. So what we do crave is the family. Not to say that men don't crave that either, but that does come into our minds and it's in the forefront of our minds more than it is for men. So I think that's why maybe I'm so irritated by that because it's like, no, it's not so casual. It's not so just like, you're good. Like, who cares? You're living your best life. And it's like, no, bro, I'm 36, or 30. I'm heading into my 30s. Like, I don't have a ton of time, and a family is something that I do want and crave. And we're also in a situation where we also have to kind of, handle the fact that if comes a point where we can't have kids, like we have to tell a potential partner that, like, hey, I'm not able to have kids. That could be a deal breaker for some men, and I know, yes,
Yeah.
again, there's men out there who can't have kids either, but sometimes men are like, oh, okay, well then, I'm just gonna, exit stage left. So I think that's another reason where it's just, and again, I think my age is just showing really
Yeah,
being 36.
I think that's why our perspectives are a little bit different. Like
Yeah.
obviously there is like a sense of awe for me, but then there's also like
Yeah.
maybe for me it's different too because this is my first year like this. But
Yeah.
even before, like it's not like me and him did anything crazy during the holidays. We were still
Right.
hanging out with friends. We weren't like doing coupley things together.
Right.
It was still either with my family, with my
Yeah.
friends, Friendsgiving with my friends. And
Yeah.
I'm someone, like you mentioned, like I actually like most of my friends' partners.
Yeah,
So like
same.
I love being a third wheel at times. I think it's so fun.
I love being the sister wife. I love being a part of it. Like, I love it.
I'll go to dinners. I'll do all with just
Yeah.
my friend that's with her man or whatever, and it doesn't bother me.
Same.
And I think some people get bothered by it, and I was like, no, I like you think of it as like I'm hanging out with my friends. Like he can be your friend too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, like no, because like most of my friends, same with yours, like nobody acts like and all over each other. Nobody acts like a couple. Like,
I'm actually very fortunate that I am, because we have some mutual friends.
Everyone's
but
inclusive.
Like, everyone's very inclusive. So I really appreciate that. And that's kind of like another way that I love that people kind of, that the couples kind of like include the single folks, is that they are like, they're not all over each other, and they're very much like, hey, you're just a part of our group. Like, we're just like in a group situation. It's not like, oh, there's them and then there's you.
You know what I love too is like I love when you're out with your friend and her guy, or even if it's like a group of girls, but then your friend brought her guy, the guy that's like, no, like I'm not only looking out for my girl, but I'm looking out for your friends too.
Yes.
I love
Very attractive.
Very attractive. Like what's
quality.
also very attractive is if I'm hanging out with, again, a couple, and like the man pays for like not just hers but mine. It's not about the money. It's just like it's manly. It's like sweet.
Yes. It's gentlemanly.
It's gentlemanly. That's a perfect word. It's gentlemanly.
It's
so
a gentleman that does that.
Word for the wise.
Yes.
If you want to get your girl's friends to like you, you should
take care of them just as you would your girlfriend.
I mean, we'll give even like Joey a shout out, right? So like when we went to Valle de Guadalupe, he literally he packed us a car full of snacks.
Yes.
Like that is so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Very sweet. We went out with them on Halloween as well, and you could tell he always was keeping an eye out for all of us.
Yeah.
And he was always checking in with Sana and I. Like, I would be drinking, he would just be like, "You good? Like, you okay?
Yeah.
Like, do you need a water?" Joey is a gentleman and a scholar.
Joey's a gentleman. No,
Joey's such a gentleman. But that's the thing.
Even Anisha's boyfriend that night.
Mm-hmm,
like
yes, Anisha's boyfriend. Yes, he was very attentive.
Saba's husband. Like, if I forgot any of my friends, but I have a lot of friends.
All of my friends
that have great partners.
Yes.
So I think that's probably why I don't feel it either, because they don't make me feel like, oh, you're like an outsider. Oh, you're like by yourself. It's like, no, we're like all hanging out.
Yeah, because we're all friends. Because that is, I feel like I am friends with my friends, husbands or boyfriends. And I enjoy being around them. But we do understand that not everyone has friends like that. So again, another way, that you can include single people is like, just stop with like the coupley shit for like a little bit. When you have your single friends, like try to just include them, try to make it more of like a friendship landscape than like the couples and then you. But yeah, I can understand that sometimes you really do feel your singleness if you don't have friends like that. Mm-hmm. If you don't have those couple friends that don't act so coupley. Yeah, because you honestly, we're blessed with that.
You honestly don't need to have single friends to still go out.
Very true.
That's something I've learned a lot over the, like, especially this year, is like, hey, if I want to go out, like, I'm going to go out regardless if it's with my girlfriends or with my girlfriends and their guys. Like, that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother me either.
I think girls should get to that point where don't, like, be discouraged because it's like, oh, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be a third wheel. No, like, go have fun.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah. That's I think a way to encourage if you are single, and the holidays might be a little bit tough for you, which again, I completely sympathize and empathize with.
Yeah, we get it.
'Cause definitely have moments. We both, have our moments, understand. But I would encourage everyone, like, it's like, okay, well, how do you handle it? Like, go out. Like, still
Don't
go
let it stop
out.
you.
Don't let it stop you. Still, like, this also might be a challenge to, like, actually get to know your friends' partners, right? Like, get to know your friends, significant other, talk to them, like, have an opportunity to become friends with them. Because I know like we just said, we love our friends' partners. But yeah, don't let it stop you. Like, I know that I've in the past has stopped me a couple times, and um to be honest, I feel like that might have just been a little bit of a boundary, like I just wasn't feeling it, so I wasn't going to push myself. But there are things that I think back on and I'm like, I probably should have just gone.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, or there were times where I was dreading it because I was amongst all
Yeah.
couples. Literally everyone's a couple, and I'm just like, oh God, like here's
I used
me,
to have those thoughts in my head where it's like I don't want to, but now I'm like
yeah,
I don't
but
care.
then I've gone and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was one time I have my Nordstrom family, and we all went to Palm Springs together. And it actually ended up happening that my friend Marissa slept in the same bed and her husband slept on the couch.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, Nick, we're going to be together. And I think that I'm very blessed that I have friends who always include me and always take care of me and take care of my heart that way. But yes, it's never been as bad as I thought. Honestly, I don't think it's ever been bad the way that I thought it was going to be. Honestly, it's usually just me, which we get because it's hard. I totally understand. Like, as I have grace for myself, I completely
No,
understand
it is hard.
others.
But like you can even I know during the holidays it's hard to schedule with people.
Yes.
But if you schedule in advance,
Yes, be purposeful in your plans with people.
you could do a girls' event.
Yeah,
You
a
could
girls'
even,
event, gift exchange.
Fun, like really good tip. Not even tip, but like go to the Venice canals in Long Beach.
Yes. The gondola.
Not the gondola, but just walk the strip.
Oh yeah.
The lights on the houses
The lights are
so beautiful.
pretty.
Like that's probably
Yeah.
the best spot I've been in California. Like,
Oh, yeah.
because you walk, the path is so nice.
Yes.
You the water's in the middle. Everybody has like hot
Little, like,
cocoa or something.
hot
Everybody's
chocolate or
walking. Like
coffee or
you could do that
something.
with your mom, your dad, your family, friends. Like there's like a lot of cute little things you could do. I mean, it's a great time to even like hang out with your family. Like I think
Absolutely.
so many times during the year you're like friends. Like enjoy your time with your family.
Yeah, take time for your family. There's also like tree lighting ceremonies that happen all over the place, all over Southern California. So check those out because again, you can grab a friend, and this is also again something that you can do with like kids and friends. Because again, we've talked about this earlier that I'm in a situation where we're different. You have friends that are married but no kids. I have friends that are married with kids. So this is something that you could do. So if, your girlfriend or something needs to bring the kids along, like you could still do that, right? And do something somewhat kid friendly, but it's not over the top kid, where you're just like, I don't know, stuck in the middle of a ball pit, type of thing. But be purposeful. Plan a Christmas brunch, right? Like a Christmas time type of brunch, a Friendsgiving.
I just said Venice. It was Naples.
Naples. Yes.
Why did I say Italy?
Well,
Italy,
Italy,
It's Naples in Long Beach.
Yes, Naples.
Naples, not Venice.
We caught that.
Yeah, Naples and Long Beach.
Naples, yes. And, like I said, doing gifted, do like a holiday, like a cookie, like swap bake, like, come on, baking during the holidays.
You could do a girls'
Super
night
fun.
baking. I did something really fun, and this was with girls and guys.
Yes.
I was in Big Bear the last weekend, and this was super fun. So two of the gals set it up. They did an amazing job. It was so cute the way they put everything together. They had these welcome baskets for baskets for everybody. Cute. And in there was like a blank canvas. So they brought paints, everything. We literally made our own paint night.
Oh,
where
so
we all
cute.
painted the same thing, and we were like instructed on how to do it.
Yeah.
And like not only it's like people think that's like a girl thing to do, but no, the guys had so much fun doing it.
It's such a good time.
Yeah.
Like you do that with like some wine and
we did,
some like good apps or
Music.
whatever. Music. Such a good time. I love
and so simple.
Yes, I love a gingerbread house decorating night.
I've never done that.
With a group of friends and like you make boozy like holiday cocktails.
Yeah.
You get like a good like charcuterie board going. music and, like wear your best, ugly holiday sweater or whatever.
You say like make the charcuterie. I saw a really funny video where it was like, have you seen those videos where they make like the drinks on like specific themes? Like everybody has to bring a platter of drinks.
Yes.
I might have sent you this one. It's like, the reason why you and your ex are inspired by what
your ex.
And like it was so funny. There was like the gaslight drink.
Yeah.
There was like
one was like a mojito in a baby bottle.
Yeah.
He had like mommy issues or something.
No, it was so
There's like a red
funny.
flag drink.
A red flag drink. It's so funny. You could do fun things like that.
Yeah, you could do fun things like that, or just even like your best holiday. I remember one of my my Nordstrom group, my Nordstrom family, we all brought a different board. So like I did like a chili cheese like hot dog board. Someone else did like a macaroni
that looks fun.
Cheese board. Someone else did like a French fry board. Like those are fun. Like, but really be purposeful. Be purposeful in your plans. You are going to probably have to be the one to like reach out and say, hey, let's do something, plan it, try to host if you can, or, find other places around. Really got to dig, maybe.
Try to host, and again, like include your friends, significant others.
Absolutely.
Don't. I think a lot of single people struggle with like, I don't want to be in a room full of couples. It's honestly not that bad. I have a great time.
Yeah, it's not that bad. And to be honest, I think are a lot of couples who are just like, I don't want to be around you. Like they go their separate ways.
They're the ones that are like toxic, and you're like, I don't like you guys together. Totally.
Yes.
But I think in general, a lot of single women are like, oh, like I'm gonna feel left out. I'm gonna feel awkward. But it's like, no, actually give it a shot.
Yeah.
I've had some of the best nights with hanging out with my friends and their significant others. It's never been like,
same.
Oh, I'm sad and I'm going to go home and I'm so single. Like I've never been in that situation and like been like, oh, it's like,
yes.
It's always fun.
Yeah, no, I've always had a good time. Yeah. And so, yes, definitely if you can include their significant other but yes, if there's like
you can
that
do the
toxic,
girls' night too.
Then do the girls' night or do both, right? Maybe you do have one girl's like cute little gift exchange or something.
We love a good white elephant.
Love a good white elephant with like some good white elephant gifts.
Sometimes it's funny with the stupid ones.
You know what? We did that one time. Remember we did that one year?
With Nordstrom?
Yes. You all came over to my apartment and we all did stupid gifts. Like we did stupid. Were you there? I think you were there with it.
I don't think I came.
That's actually a really fun one. Is if you
the stupid gifts are fun.
Yeah, if you do like a white elephant gift exchange, but you tell them like it has to be like a really just like the dumbest shit, and people brought like I can't even remember. Like people just brought like dumbest things. People brought like some sex toys. Like it was just funny. Like it was just funny stuff, and it's a good time. And you do dinner, you do wine, like you make it fun. But I will also say that have your boundaries. If something does not feel good, if you're like, no, this is gonna maybe possibly make me spiral. And like you legitimately feel it, not just because you're like, oh, I'm scared.
Or like Aunt Stacy's bothering you at the Thanksgiving dinner, asking you why you're single.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Why are you single? How come you haven't met anyone yet? Like really do your research and get some good, tools to set those boundaries. And, it's not always comfortable to tell, Aunt Stacy to like cram it.
Susie,
but
Stacey,
yeah,
whoever
it may be.
Carol.
Aunt Debbie. Yeah. But yeah, plan and prepare, right? Like
yeah, it's okay to find a nice way to say fuck off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's totally fine to tell someone to go to hell in the nicest way possible.
The sweetest way.
Yes, but boundaries. Absolutely. Again, like really do know your boundaries.
I know some people dread those conversations at the Christmas dinner, at the Thanksgiving dinner where you see your extended family and everybody in there.
And I think also in Hispanic and Indian families, sometimes there's a lot of pressure. I thankfully have not really felt that from my family.
Neither.
But people I know that within kind of, Latin communities, Indian communities, like, there I think every community probably has pressure. But yes, like plan, prepare, get some good tools, figure out some, different ways you can, like Sana said, tell someone to fuck off, set those boundaries with your family. If you have to shut it down, shut it down.
And don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you.
I would say, that's why I say to definitely kind of like fortify yourself because it does have the tendency to hurt. And it's not fun to sit there and talk about, for the millionth time why you're single.
Yeah, I'm focused on myself. The end.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm on a healing journey. The end. Like, because I enjoy being a whore, Aunt Debbie, like,
or
bye.
that. Yeah.
You know,
yeah. That's a great one for Aunt Debbie.
No, but
the men suck.
yeah,
Whatever.
men suck, whatever it is,
Yeah.
but be truthful. You don't have to hide anything. You don't have to sit there and, oh, well, just, I'm just dating. Like, just be like, no, because you know what? The dating scene is an absolute dumpster fire and men don't know
And
how
I'm
to
not
be
gonna
men
settle for
anymore.
less.
And yeah, and I'm not going to settle for less.
Like you did, Aunt
like
Debbie.
some of us, Aunt Debbie, with Uncle Carl. Or tell me why you're on your third marriage, Aunt Debbie.
Yeah.
But again, boundaries are healthy. They are encouraged. We encourage the boundaries over here on the I don't know podcast.
Yeah.
Then it's not wrong. So yes, if there's an event that you just really don't want to go to because it's just you really just do feel that dreading, not just like the like, oh, I'm gonna be like, just awkward, but like if there
The
really is
questions.
if there really is a sense of dread, like just follow your gut, then don't go. You don't force yourself to do anything.
Or I wouldn't say don't go. I think you don't have to engage in the conversation. Like I said, respectfully, you can just say like,
well, not with family.
focusing
Yeah,
on
I would say
myself,
definitely
like,
like go
I
with
would-
family, but
yeah.
I'm saying like more so like with friends. Like if you are really dreading it and there's just like a sinking feeling, like don't push yourself to be in something just for the sake of like, oh, I need to be out there. And with family, sometimes we don't really have a choice with family, right? We don't have a choice whether we want to go spend Christmas, with, Aunt Debbie or not. And that's just what we have to do. It is
But
what it is.
I don't know. I think because people tend to feel more sad during the holidays and more emotional if you're single, I actually think it's a good thing to go out, not stay at home.
I do, but again, I see it from because I have been that person where there is like a sense of dread. Like, and there was times when it's
Yeah.
just like there were times where I should have gone, and then there also were times that like no, that was a boundary.
Like even the office holiday parties, for example.
Yeah.
Like
That's a tough one during the holidays sometimes
take your
when you're
best
single.
friend, even if your best friend is in a relationship. Take a friend or any friend that you're gonna have a good time with.
Yeah,
Hell,
absolutely.
take your brother if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Who cares? Yeah.
Don't feel like no. Take someone you have fun with. Don't be like,
Yes.
well, I'm not gonna go to the holiday party.
Yeah.
Then no.
And you know what? It doesn't have to be a date.
It
It's your
doesn't
plus
have to
one.
be date. Literally, I'm taking Aisha to my holiday party.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you're taking
I'm
Suna.
yeah, like, well, now she's going with someone else. No, we're working out, but I'm still going with someone I'm
Yeah.
still taking somebody from work. Like, we're working it all out. Like, and it doesn't have to be a date. It really doesn't.
Take a friend.
And
yeah.
absolutely. Take a friend.
Hell, take your mom. Like,
Yeah, I know. There are some people within, for our event, they're like, I'm going to bring my mom. I'm like, hell yeah. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a good time. It doesn't have to be a date. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah, don't go on like savaging, like, who can
yeah, don't start going wild on the apps and just
Swipe,
like
who wants to come to
who
my
wants to
holiday
come to my
party?
holiday party, or reach out to your ex
Or
the
your
situationship and hit them
Okay,
up.
please don't bring your situationship to the holiday party.
Because you know what's going to happen? They're going to meet someone else.
That could happen. They're going to be annoying and schmoozy, and then people are going to
No.
ask you about them.
Oh, yes, people are going to ask you about them, and that is like the most awkward thing when they're like, "Oh," and you're introducing
You know,
you're like,
'cause
"This is my."
Based on my track record, I feel like most of the guys that are into the situationship end up being a lot like very outgoing. They
Yes.
will make their presence very known.
Very known. Very known. You
At
can't
the
hide
holiday
them.
party because
Yeah. No, remember everyone, this is your professional work.
do not. I'm going to emphasize
don't
this
mix.
again. Do not bring your situationship to the holiday party.
Do not bring
or
your
to
hookup
Thanksgiving
or
dinner
your situationship.
or to Christmas dinner with your family.
No,
they do not deserve that.
Do not. Yes.
I
no.
know
They have not
some
earned
people
their
are like,
place
well,
at
I
the
want to
table.
bring somebody. No,
No.
they don't deserve that place.
Absolutely not.
If I can emphasize something harder, do not bring anyone that you're not in a committed relationship with
No.
to any family dinner during the holidays or to your holiday work party.
Absolutely not. No, don't do it. That's a bad news.
That's the best advice I could give you this whole episode because I know for damn sure, I'm getting passionate. I just know for damn sure people are taking
Oh,
the
yeah.
guys that are not giving them anything, that
Yeah.
are being disrespected, like the guy said,
Yes.
settling for less and taking them to events that they do not deserve to be at.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, we're not doing that this year, ladies.
If I
Absolutely
see
not.
one of
Or
you doing
men.
that, you're gonna get a phone call from me. Don't let it happen.
Don't let
I'll
it
be
happen.
very
Don't make me
upset.
come after you.
Don't make me come
Yeah.
after you.
Don't. We're gonna make an example out of you.
We're gonna make an example.
We're
out
gonna
of you.
mention your name.
Yeah. If I
On
go on
the pod.
Instagram and I see the
I see
stories,
it.
Carol and Kelly,
Yeah, we're gonna
whoever
call
they may
you
be.
out.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Just, it doesn't have to be a date. I know that there's kind of that old school pressure and, it is a little bit
I
hard.
mean, there's like Hallmark movies about like gotta find a date for the holidays.
Oh my God, the Hallmark movies. I actually
and then
really...
they end up at the airport and they find him at the airport or like
no.
on the way.
Oh my
or
God.
like
The
no.
whole like the high-powered businesswoman who
Yeah.
like not gonna get away from the holidays, and then her boss
mom
forces
calls
her.
her.
Yeah, her mom calls her.
You have to come. Daddy's not doing well.
Dad's not. Yeah, this may be his last Christmas.
Yeah.
So she hauls ass, and then her car breaks down in the like cutest Christmas town
Yeah.
on her way to go see moms and dadums, and then meets like the hot,
hunk.
the guy who like she refused help with her
Yeah.
flat tire.
Yeah.
I have a million of these in my head.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's one like that.
Because there is this like gotta have a date at the Thanksgiving dinner,
Yes,
gotta have a date at Christmas.
gotta have a date.
Leave them at home
No.
unless you're in a committed relationship.
Yes.
Then you may bring them.
It
You
is-
get permission from the podcast.
Yes.
To bring them.
to bring them. But it's true though. Again, that's kind of just like that pressure from family, or just even that traditional type pressure that you need to bring a date. I think most people feel it now still in like kind of the office situation, the professional situation. But I am telling you, it is fine to bring a friend. It is fine to bring whoever you want to the holiday party, except your situationship or a hookup. Do not bring them. But
or someone you swiped on.
Yes, no, absolutely not. But don't feel the pressure. Just, have fun. And if you don't want to bring a plus one, then don't.
Yeah,
then
you
go.
know everybody at work anyways.
Go enjoy.
You're
Have a good
comfortable.
time.
Yeah.
But honestly, very least bring a friend. No one cares. Honestly, no one cares
Or bring
anymore.
your mom.
Or bring your mom. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sweet Debbie.
Yeah.
Debbie's an aunt and a mom. So
But that is our, I guess, advice.
I hope it was insightful.
I hope it was helpful. It's tough. It's tough out there. We get it. We both understand. But hopefully we gave you some good ideas. We gave you some encouragement. Just hang in there. We'll all get through No Man November and Depressed December together.
We'll get
I'm
through it
kidding.
with flying cards.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? It's going to be a good time. It's going to be great. And no, we're going to just celebrate and we're going to have
Was it
fun.
flying colors?
Flying colors.
I'm missing up everything.
Yeah.
So when we said it was a long week, it's a long week.
It's been a long week.
I mean, if you're watching the episode, you definitely saw me yawn a few times.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's
Sauna's about to crash right now.
I
And
mean,
it is only 7:30.
well, I wake up early. So,
Well. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Episode 14. We don't talk about episode 13.
Yeah. So I don't want to.
Don't add us.
Nobody text me. Nobody think what happened
Yeah,
to
what
episode
happened to
13. Did
13?
I miss it?
It died.
Yes. We went straight to 14.
Yeah, we don't talk
ask
about it.
questions. And I hope you guys have the most amazing Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
And we'll
Enjoy.
see you in a week.
In a week. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.